Hi, I'm Kat from catlove.com. My guest today is Nikki Bonsol. Nikki is the founder of NicoleBonsol.com. She is a writer and a designer for hire that specializes in working with therapists and other healers. Today, Nikki will be sharing insights to help you write your psychotherapy website copy. We discuss what website copy is, how website copy can help you be seen by your ideal clients, common writing and copy mistakes to avoid, writing your about page, and one thing you can do right now to improve your website copy. Let's get started. Hi, Nikki. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yay, thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Yay. Okay, so I have a ton of questions for you, so let's just go ahead and get started. One of the
Okay.
first things that I wanted to kind of establish is what exactly is website copy and why is it so important to a psychotherapy website?
Whenever you see the words copy in like business or marketing stuff, that basically means the written content of your site, like any writing that's on your website. And it's important for your psychotherapy website because it's how potential clients get to know you, find out if you can help them like with their specific needs, if they can connect with you, and if they might like working with you.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, I was actually reading your website copy before we hopped onto this call, and at some point you talked about having website copy that really allows therapists to be seen by their ideal
Mm-hmm.
clients. And when I was reading that, maybe also because I know you a little bit, that I think that you don't mean in like this shallow way of like, oh my God, look at me, I'm so awesome. Like, so when you say getting seen with your
Mm-hmm.
website copy, what exactly do you mean and why is that an important thing to keep in mind?
So, um, a lot of the therapists that come to me um, have something about themselves or about their work that they really want to say, but have gotten a lot of messages, like whether it's through um, like licensing or like whether it's about like self disclosure or I don't know, maybe their friends and family or their colleagues are like, that's not okay to say on a website. Like it needs to be 100% professional, whatever, that
Yeah.
means in whatever context. And so they're like hiding this part of their personality that might really connect with some of their like somebody that would really love working with them. So when I say being seen, I'm talking about or like it the foundation is that we live in this world where there's a lot of different people needing a lot of different kinds of support, and I believe that every therapist has like their like person that they're supposed to help, and every person has like a certain kind of therapist who has like a specific, not specific, but like a kind of personality and a specific modality that they work in, that is a real great match for that person. And the only way to know that in the great wide world of the internet, where there are hundreds of people probably providing the same services in your area, is to um, put yourself out there, for people to connect with. Because if every therapist had like the same generic XYZ on their website, there's no way that people really looking for somebody to connect with, to who could really help them, would be able to tell from from the internet like who that person is. It would take
Right.
them like a really long time to go through every person on the list. So yeah,
No,
that's what
yeah,
I mean by being seen.
yeah, that's really interesting. So what you kind of mean is that being seen in terms of knowing yourself and connecting to what it is that makes you different and what it
Mm-hmm.
is that makes you perhaps connect to someone else that might be
Mm-hmm.
looking for what you have to offer them.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people are concerned about like their competition, like out in when you're starting a small business, that makes a lot of sense to like know who your competition is. And I think I was reading a newsletter of yours that maybe said not to think about, it's not really about competition because everybody has like something that makes them different and special. And there are enough people out there in the world that there are enough clients out there for everyone. There's no shortage of pain in the world. I think that's what you
Yeah.
said, and that really like stuck with me. Um, so if you're thinking about being competitive in a market where there's hundreds of people providing the same service, what makes you stand out is your unique blend of personality and what you're passionate about helping people with and who you're passionate about helping. So being seen for all of that is what will help those specific people find you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But yeah, and I'm so cool, so like flattered that you read my emails.
Oh
You're
yeah.
on my email list.
I
That's
am
so
on your
cool.
email list. And I had like started a draft to write back and be like, oh my God, I love this one. The one that said there is no shortage of pain in the world because it like sucked me
Yeah.
in the solar plexus. But that's still languishing in my drafts folder. Sorry.
No worries, no worries at all. So I'm really glad that we're connecting and that we're also doing this video today because you're actually you've been working with healers and helpers and therapists for a few years now. And so
Mhm.
one thing that I've been really curious about when it comes to website copy is what are the like two or three mistakes that you really see a lot when in terms of website copy or any
Mhm.
written content?
Mhm. So there are things that people are doing when they're trying to write that really frustrate them, and then there are like a couple of mistakes that that pop out like when I see the finished product. So um, people are people often come to me and say, "Oh, writing is really frustrating and overwhelming, and I hate my writing." And I think a lot of the time it's because people are trying to create, like, put down their thoughts and edit themselves at the same time.
Mm.
So uh, I do this too. When I'm like stressed out, I'll just be like trying to write my newsletter and just trying to get it perfect the first pass through. Um, but I found for myself and for a lot of other people that I've coached through the writing process that having a specific time to just write and get all of your ideas out, and who cares if they're correct and who cares if it makes sense and like if the spelling's right or whatever, or if you're missing facts, just like get it all out, turn your editor off for that time, and then when that's done, take a break and then go back to it and edit and like fix the factual things that are wrong, put in some like other information, get the spelling and grammar right. Separating those two is a lot easier
Yeah.
and
So
less
yeah.
stressful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like making that mistake when they're right. I make it all the time. And then on the finished content side, people struggle with putting like too much content in that might not actually be relevant to
Mm.
how like what their clients need to know, really need to know, and what makes sense for them um, and their business. So like a lot of people are stressed out about putting all of these resources on their site, and writing like all of these blogs, or not even blogs, but like getting all these articles and blogs together before their um, site is ready, um, thinking that people are going to be like reading these long articles about things on their site when I think what really needs to happen first is like their about page, services, and homepage, and that other stuff, like if you have a blog, can grow. from there. But like, yeah, so having too much content um, at the
Or, yeah,
get-go.
it kind of also sounds like you're saying that people may spread themselves very thin because they might look at someone who's had a website for like 2 or 3 years and be like, oh my
Mm,
God, they have this huge blog, they have this, you
mm-hmm.
know, archive of resources, and like maybe someone that's earlier in the stage of writing their content, or maybe even if someone's going back and writing their website content again or website copy,
Mm-hmm.
to refresh it, maybe they should start what you're saying, maybe to start more focused on the home page, the about page, and the services page as kind of the core focal
Yeah.
areas first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like good. But that's a mistake that people are making, is that they're just spreading themselves out among all of
Mm-hmm.
this.
And waiting until they have what they think is like the perfect website before putting it out there. Um, and like getting your website out in the real world, having it like be your marketing tool, and like it could be years before it comes out in the world that content is ready. Yeah. And then like another basic one that happens all the time is that people don't put a call to action, what's called a call to action on every page. So a lot of the time you'll read a website, you'll read like the homepage, and it'll just say like a few things about you and your practice. But what's missing is that last sentence that's like, and now that you know that I can help you, do this and join my list. I would love you to like set up a consultation. A lot of people forget or are afraid to ask for that. But if somebody is coming to your website and like really excited that they're like gonna connect with you, they're gonna want to know like what's the first step. So remember to give them the first step. Very
Yeah.
common.
Yeah,
That's a
no.
common mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally have seen that happen on a lot of websites. So I also have to ask you about pages. You know this, right? Because about pages are like super difficult to write. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
been difficult for myself over the years. It's difficult for a lot of psychotherapists that I know. And I think on your website, I have to look at it again. I wrote it down. At some point you said, "Does writing your about page feel like it's killing your soul?"
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, "Yes, it does." Like, it's like one of those things that's hilarious because it's so true and it's like so real, and so that feeling is like so tangible. Um,
Copyright win.
so I wanted to ask you, like, why do you feel like that particular page is so difficult to write? And what can we do you have like any tips or any practical advice for overcoming that challenge of writing that page?
So I think it's a couple of things. One is that we're, as human beings, we are such complicated, multifaceted, multi-storied people that when we have to distill it into a page that's supposed to like be good for our business and make us money and like work perfectly, um, that just becomes overwhelming, and you're like, I don't know, like, who am I, what part of myself am I is like in my business, and what isn't, what's relevant. So that can be overwhelming at the get-go. But I think for the therapists and healers that I work with in particular, selling yourself as a healer who helps you through pain can sometimes feel like, um, somebody who was taking my copywriting course was like, I don't want it to sound like I'm profiting off of this person's pain. So like any page of their website, any whether it's their about page or their home page, they don't want to like cross that. They don't want to be salesy and like manipulative and pokey.
Yeah, totally.
Um, so I think that that's why sometimes it feels like it's killing your soul as a helper, because you think that selling is like this soulless thing. Um, but to so you asked me how to overcome that. Um, I I like to think of on those hard days when I'm like, selling is so bad. Try to like shift your mindset to remember that your website is a tool to help you connect with people so that you can help them, and that selling as a healer is helping. Selling as a helper, any like kind of service you provide, is helping a person. Um, and if you don't tell them what you're good at and how you can help and what you're offering and ask them to do this thing, like they're not gonna know. They'll just like, okay, that's fine.
Right. So um it's almost like that your about page is an opportunity to help them. It's not an
Hmm.
opportunity to profit off of them. It's not exploitation.
Yeah.
It's a actual an act of kindness and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
totally
Any
agree with that.
marketing thing you're doing is helping somebody, and not, it is also helping yourself because you're, supporting your business, but it's not like selling isn't a bad thing. It feels bad because we get like flooded with sales things all the time, and they feel like attacks sometimes. Like the little Google ad will pop up and they'll be like, how did you even know? But yeah, it's not, selling is helping.
I completely agree with you. And it's cool to hear you say that this is like something that you feel this kind of empathy is important to
Mm-hmm.
copy because it's also something that I feel is very important to web design.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this whole package of just compassion and empathy and
Mm-hmm.
reaching out and making yourself available to the people that need you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people in the healing spheres might have that advantage over like other kind of service providers, because empathy is such a big part of, um, like making a website and writing copy that connects with somebody. It's really understanding their pain
Yeah.
and their goals and all these other things about them. Yeah.
So the information that you've given us today is so helpful already, but I was trying to think maybe if we could narrow things down into one actionable tip. So,
Hmm.
what is one thing that therapists can do today to improve their website copy?
Okay. Um, One simple and actionable tip, I think: go through your website, look at each page, and make sure there is one call to action on every page. So a call to action, as we said before, is an invitation for them to like take that first step of working with you. So whether it's, if you have a newsletter, or a free resource that you want them to download to get on your newsletter, then ask them to do that on their page. Um, or it could also just be like, go to my about page and read this, or join me on Facebook, or call to schedule a consultation. But make sure, go through each page and pick an invitation, a call to action that makes sense, and then put it in there. And keep it to one or two, but like any more than one or two really confuses somebody, and they end up like not picking anything. So
Yeah.
if you have like a sidebar with like 60 different things on it,
That's not what you're
maybe
talking about.
that's not what I'm talking about. More is not more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So going through their website, looking at each page and making sure that there's one clear call to action on each page,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
at least one. If
At least one. If you go through your website and you find there's like three, and there's like sidebar, and there's one at the top and like a couple at the bottom, then whittle it down.
yeah, cool. Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all of these great tips today.
Oh.
This has been really fun. So I also know that you have um, a, a copywriting course that
Mm-hmm.
you are releasing in, I think, 2 weeks from now or
Yeah.
so. Can you tell us more about that? I'm actually really excited about it.
Yes. So, on January 4th, I'm releasing my first copywriting course. And as we've been talking the last, 20 minutes or so, it can be really hard for healers who identify with their clients' pain and like want to sound as genuine on their site as they do in person. It can be really hard for them to write copy that feels like them and feels good. So I created a course that hopefully acknowledges that overwhelm, how frustrating it can be to write, and provides some solutions for writing through it. Because writing what's true and writing good stuff can be really hard at times. And I'm not going to say like this copywriting course is going to make it easy, because you have to dig a little to get to what's true. So the course, walks you through some writing practices that hopefully make it easier, like we talked about free writing versus editing before. And then also shows you what to write on each page, your home page, about page, and services page. So it's my first course. I'm really excited about it. January 4th. And if you want to see, like, get a taste of what the content is and my instructional style and philosophy, I have a free course on my site. And I guess we'll like include links on the bottom of the thing.
Yeah. We'll definitely be including your links. Actually, also you can just speak it out now. Like where can people find the course? Where can people find you online? What's your website?
My website is NicoleBonsol.com. So NicoleBonsol.com. And you can find the free course by going there, and there's like a little bar at the top that says, try this free course. And you don't say that. It's better. Or you can go to NicoleBonsol.com/free-course.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely include those links so that people can click over it really easily.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming today.
You're so welcome. This was fun.
Yeah, super fun. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah. Okay.
Have an awesome day, and we'll meet again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you found something inspiring for improving your psychotherapy website copy. If you would like to find Nikki, you can do so at NicoleBonsol.com. And if you would like to find notes and links from today's session, you can do so at catlove.com/session1. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.